Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. We appreciate it. Here we are together again on the radio. Here's another story many of you sent to me. But I have a feeling many of you have not seen the follow-up to the story. Many of you have sent this to me. So I'll read you the story, and then I'll read you the follow-up that you probably haven't seen. You read this story, it sounds like the script from the Tom Leykis Show. This from the London Daily Mirror, a newspaper. TV news veteran Michael Burke. I guess he's like a Tom Brokaw or Dan Rather or something in England. Says, where have you heard this before? Men are just sperm donors, while women are becoming more powerful. According to the Mirror, he said, all men are is sperm donors, and most women aren't going to want an unemployable sperm donor loafing around and making the house untidy. They are choosing not to have a male in the household. And here's a scary thought, says he. The modern male sperm count is about half what our grandfathers was. And he said even hero sportsmen were becoming more feminine. More quotes from the Mirror of TV newsman Michael Burke in England. He said, according to the Mirror, the traits that have been traditionally associated with men, reticence, stoicism, single-mindedness, have been marginalized. The result is men are becoming more like women. Then he refers to so-called sporting icons who one of whom I've heard of, one of whom I haven't. He says, look at the men who are being held up as sporting icons, David Beckham and, God forbid, Tim Henman. I don't know, who is Tim Henman? Don't call, please. Do not call and tell us. We don't really care. Just a rhetorical question. Story says here, dad of two, Michael Burke, 59, said women are calling the shots in all areas of life and predicted the balance should not shift back. They mean will not shift back. But they're British. He wrote in the Radio Times, is that a trade publication? I guess. You don't read that, do you, Dean? The Radio Times? Products are made for women, cars are made for women, because they control what is bought. Some might argue that this is a case of the pendulum swinging over to the women's side for a change, and eventually it will find a happy medium. I'm not so sure about that. What can you do about falling sperm counts, for example? Michael, who gave up what they call news presenting in 2002, we call that being an anchorman, or a teleprompter reader is more accurate, said, quote, almost all the big jobs in broadcasting were held by women. He added, what we have now are lots of jobs that require people skills and multitasking, which, he says, women are a lot better at. So many of you sent that in to me. I don't agree with everything that's quoted here. I, for example, believe that people skills at the office are a waste of time. Getting all touchy-feely with everybody at work is a big time waster, and it's very non-productive. As far as multitasking, I don't know many women who can walk and chew gum at the same time, much less multitask. So I don't know that I agree with that part. But most of the other stuff I do agree with. And many of you sent it in because it sounded awfully familiar, didn't it? Well, here is the follow-up. See, it sounded like this guy had big balls, you know. It's a good thing we waited a day. We were going to do this as a topic, but I said to Gary, well, let's get the guy on. Let's get him on. And as Gary was beginning the quest to get this guy's telephone number in London, Then this story came out. This one in a Scottish paper called the Evening News. It says here, BBC News reader Michael Burke today insisted he had not said that men had been reduced to sperm donors. The veteran journalist sparked controversy in an interview in the Radio Times on the shift in the balance of power between the sexes. He renewed his claim that women were setting the agenda across the board, but he said, as they so often do when people complain, that his views have been misrepresented. Pussy. You big pussy. See, a real man would say, yes, I said that. Go ahead and protest. In fact, a real man who is retired from news reading on television would say, now that I'm retired, I can say anything I want. Yes, I meant what I said. But he doesn't have the balls to stand up for his principles. The story continues. It says here in the Evening News of Scotland, Burke said, I didn't say men have been reduced to sperm banks. I didn't say women ruled the world. I didn't say that would be a bad thing, even if they did. I did say that women increasingly set the agenda in business, in politics, in the media, in society at large, that women's values are now considered superior to men's values. Says here the former 9 o'clock news presenter who now reads the news on BBC World also today dismissed suggestions that he had said the crisis was damaging men's sperm counts. Mr. Burke said women had not necessarily benefited from the shift. He said they had confused equality with independence. Blah, blah, blah. This gentleman should have had the balls to stand up for what he said in the first place, instead of running and hiding when people started to question him about it. You will note that with all the things I've said that people consider to be controversial or outrageous over the years, I have never apologized for an opinion. Never. I've apologized when I have gotten a fact wrong. I've apologized when I've made a mistake in reporting a fact. That's it. People who apologize for expressing an opinion are fakes. They're afraid of the outcome of what happened. They're afraid that there's going to be repercussions for making their comments. How about that radio talk show host in San Francisco recently, Larry Kruger? Ultimate pussy, and he got what was coming to him. He got fired in the end anyway. Guy made some derogatory remarks about players from the baseball players from the Caribbean, and made a racial reference to Felipe Alou, the manager of the San Francisco Giants. So he made the comments. Then, in a desperate attempt to save his job, he apologized for them. Then they fired him and his boss anyway. F you, Larry. You pussy. If you were going to go down in flames, why didn't you stand up for what you believed in? But you were just saying stuff on the air to get people to call in. You either really didn't believe what you said, or suddenly you could see your whole career flashing before your eyes. Enjoy Stockton, pal, because that's your next stop. Once you get fired for making a racist remark in San Francisco, you're never coming back. Never. Write it down, pal. You're done. You're toast. Yeah, he said the San Francisco Giants players were a bunch of Caribbeans hacking away at slop. I'll show you hacking away at slop. You're sitting at a radio station in Stockton waiting for the phone to ring. You talk to yourself for 3 hours. You boob. It's a tough business being here in front of a microphone. Everyone thinks it's easy. You have to take the heat when you express opinions that are considered to be controversial. And I always love seeing these people who are big men when it comes to writing an article or expressing an opinion. And then the minute there's any resistance of any kind, they say, oh, I never said that. We have never backed down from anything we've done here. Men are sperm donors and human wallets. I've been saying that for years. Years. I'll never back down from it. Yes, I did call a television a vagina with rabbit ears. Yes, I did. I don't really give a rat's ass if people don't like it. Tough luck. You don't see me running and hiding behind my mother's skirt when people start complaining, do you? Hell, I put my hate mail on my website. I do an hour every few weeks of people who hate me. The only person with the balls to stand up to his detractors. The two I just named are two people who did not have the courage of their convictions. Men are just sperm donors and human wallets to women. Women love to say they don't need us. They're independent. They don't need a man. Of course, it's the biggest lie told in the world today. You see how much women need men. Women need men like junkies need heroin. Because all the time women are saying they don't need men. They demand child support. They chase us down. In California, and I think Washington State as well, they'll get your driver's license taken away, your professional license taken away if you're not paying your child support. They demand vagina money, which is an annuity payment made on a regular basis for past use of a vagina. Vagina money. Yeah, they don't need men. They just need our money and our sperm. But other than that, they don't need anything. Why not have the courage of your convictions, big boy? Because I do. I could stand up to any one of you, any time, and give it your best shot.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom Leykis.
What is sex like with someone who's 260 pounds?
Soft.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Larry on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. Just wondering if you could elaborate. Didn't one time you get fired from radio for saying something years ago? It was before my time. I
Never.
think,
Never.
I thought you got fired from some station. I was just curious.
I've never said I haven't been fired from a job, but that was never the reason.
Oh, okay. For saying something on the air. Okay.
Nope.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you. Never happened. Never. Of course, I'm not a racist either. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Dante on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
How you doing, Dad?
All right, son.
Check this out. You should never apologize for cutting a female down, no matter what position she is in life. She's still another used condom to me. That's just how I look at it. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Just like that guy that you said was a big pussy, he deserves to get fired because if he makes a real bad statement about somebody and then gonna turn around and apologize, he deserves exactly what he gets coming to him. And before I go, I gotta say this: Leykis 101 for President of the United States. Blow me up, Tom.
Here you go, Dante. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. I mean, if you're going to say something outrageous, how about you stand up for it? At least then if you lose your job, you say, hey, that's who I am. That's what I stand for. I'm not some phony baloney going on the air and saying outrageous things just to get people to call me or just to get my ratings up. I actually believe these things. And I do believe that one of the reasons I've never been fired for saying something on the air is because I don't just say things to titillate you. I really do say what I believe, even though some people consider some of the things I say outrageous. To my opinion, the guy in San Francisco who got fired for making racist remarks on the air was a phony. Just trying to do things to get people stirred up, but he really didn't stand by what he said. I'd have a lot more respect for him, even if I didn't agree with or like what he said, if he stood for what he believed in. But he didn't. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's Doug on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Doctor, how you doing?
I'm doing okay, Doug.
So, real honor to talk to you. I'll make this real quick. I think one of the reasons you're so successful is when it really comes down to it, you're just a real man. And one of the things you just said makes a lot of sense. You may not agree with what somebody says, but if they got enough guts to stand on what they believe and to take the shots and stand firm, that's really what makes the difference between a man and someone who is a male. And the problem we have in today's society is there's not enough people like you. And the bottom line is a lot of people may not agree with what you say or how you say it, but the bottom line is the more I listen to you, everything you say is based in truth and fact. And when the big guns come at you, or some of these little mealy-mouthed women and men that call in and challenge you, no matter what they say, you always speak the truth, you stand on what you believe, and no matter who comes after you, you're still standing when the dust is all gone, and that's really what it comes down to.
I think you're a lot less likely to get fired if you're honest and you say what you really believe, even if it's unpopular.
That's the truth. You know, then that's the problem with the world today. There's not enough people that will stand on what they say, even if it is unpopular. And if it's based in the truth, which comes back to what I believe you're all about, and stand on what is the truth and what you believe in, then you're always going to come out shining. And you know what? I give you a huge round of applause every day. And you just keep up the good work, man, because you're pulling the weight for a lot of guys out there that ain't got enough guts to do it.
Well, no doubt about that, Doug. Thank you so much for the call. I appreciate it. Kathy on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. I just want to tell you that I'm proud of the way you are, that I myself had a little issue at work today, and I believe in the same thing that you say, that you stand behind what you feel is right, and you just say the truth, they like it or not. And I'm just, a lot of the times I agree with everything that you say. Sometimes you just make me laugh, and I just want to say that, thank you for being the kind of person that you are.
I'm just tired of these pathetic pussies who say something outrageous, and then the minute there's any criticism or any threat of losing their job, they apologize, they retract it, they say they never said it. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's outrageous.
Well, I love you, Tom.
Thank you, Kathy. Appreciate the call. By the way, one of the things I was criticized for was one time years ago on this program, we did a show where Dean had talked about whether a woman had been molested as a kid. Was she more likely to put out? And there had been research that said she was. So we talked about whether it would be okay to look into a woman's past or ask her, and then know that you're home free, that you're going to get lucky. Oh, people went crazy. Websites went crazy. Blogs went crazy. Everybody went nuts about that. We never backed down. We never pretended we didn't talk about that or pretended we didn't say it. Ridiculous. Get a lot of criticism for that and people threatening us in every possible way. Who cares? It's the point of having free speech if you don't stand by what you believe. And you can't stand by what you believe. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Caton on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Dad.
How you doing, son?
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you.
Listen, I just wanted to bring up a few years back, there was a golf announcer who said that women would never be as good at golfers because they had breasts.
Right.
And I don't remember, did he get fired for that? Or I remember he apologized.
Yeah, no, he was fired for that.
Yeah. So it's just the same thing. It's just people not being able to stand up for what they believe in. And especially when that's basically, that's not even an opinion. I mean, that's kind of a fact, you know?
Well, again, I'm not a biologist, so I would not claim it to be a fact.
Yeah, but...
I just think women generally cannot hit the ball as far as a man because they're not as strong as a man in most cases.
Strength, exactly.
That's the reason I believe it is. But whatever the reason, if you hire someone to be a commentator, they should be able to speak their mind and say what they believe. And if you want to have people write in and you want to put opposing points of view on your website or whatever, great. But, if you're going to say something, you should stand behind it and not just be saying things to get people's goat or be a devil's advocate.
Exactly. And when you make a statement like that, I mean, and you feel like you have backing behind it, then you should have the conviction to stand behind it.
No doubt.
Well, take me out old school, Tom.
Here you go, Caton. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Elliot on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Elliot.
How's it going, man?
Great.
I just want to throw my 2 cents in the ring here. It all comes down to respect, Tom. You command a lot of respect with your show, and like you say, you stand behind your convictions, and it's just respect. I work in an office. I'm only 21. I work in an office building, and I was listening to the show the other day about how we do things for women, like lift heavy stuff around the office, and they brought it up to me again, and I finally just said, that's not part of my job description, like you told me, and it worked out, and I feel like I'm getting a lot more respect here at the office for following you.
I believe me, you get more respect by standing up and being a man.
Definitely.
Than by cowering in the corner, like so many men now do.
It's really sad, Tom. It's really pathetic, and I have a son, and I'm 21, and that's the whole. I didn't come on to you but I should. If I would have listened to you a long time ago, I wouldn't be in the situation I am. But my son is going to be a Leykis 101 follower for the rest of his life.
I am very proud.
As soon as he's old enough to comprehend, he will be a Leykis listener forever.
Elliot, I am very proud of you. Thank you for the call.
1-800-5800-TOM.
What I've learned from you is I can tell when and how women lie.
How do they lie?
Anytime they open their mouth.
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
It's the Tom Leykis Show. At 1-800-5800-TOM, that's our telephone number. Talking about the TV anchorman in England who was quoted as saying that all men are sperm donors. Most women, he said, aren't going to want an unemployable sperm donor loafing around and making the house untidy. He said they are choosing not to have a male in the household. And he said more. Then later, when confronted, he backed down and said that really wasn't what he said. Come on. Come on. Have the courage of your convictions, you pussy. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's Mike on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. Long time, first time.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Good.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about golf again. He wasn't a broadcaster, but after Tiger, when he won his first major championship, they made that big deal about Fuzzy Zeller making that comment about, I hope Tiger. Apparently, when they win the major at the Masters, they get to order some special dinner, the past champion from the year before.
Right.
And Fuzzy Zeller made the comment that I hope Tiger doesn't order something like fried chicken or collard greens, and that got Fuzzy in some kind of trouble. I guess he lost pretty much all his sponsors, and I never really did remember if he ever backed down from his comments. I believe he did apologize, but I'm not sure.
Those who apologize are just scared of never working again.
Exactly, and I don't know how Fuzzy Zeller's career is now, but I know it's nothing compared to Tiger's.
Well, Fuzzy Zeller made a lot of money playing golf.
Yeah.
Hopefully he invested wisely and didn't need a commentating job.
After that comment, no.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Appreciate the call. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. This is Dan. Hello.
Yeah, hey, I kind of disagree with what you said earlier. You come across as this guy that's just, always standing by what he says, but you only say what you say for shock value anyway.
How do you know that? What makes you think that?
Well, because I don't know. I listen to your show.
Yeah, but what makes you think that?
You're nothing more than
millions of people listen to the show. What makes you think that?
Well, because I know how it works. I know that if you weren't so controversial and if you didn't get everybody so stirred up, then they wouldn't even have you on there anyway, because the radio station's got to make money.
Everybody who's on doesn't say controversial things, number one. Number two, would name one thing I've said that you don't think I believe. I'm listening.
Well, it's not even necessarily...
Pal, answer the question. Answer the goddamn question.
Well, first of all, it's really not even that relevant.
Answer. No, I'm the host of this show. I'll decide what's relevant. Answer the question. And by the way, that's what people say when they can't answer the question.
No.
Then answer it.
The question is, the answer is that the subject matter of your show, you know, you come across as trying to help everybody out so much, but it's really not helping.
Name one thing I said that you don't think I believe, and I'm not letting you go on this until you concede you can't.
Okay, well, let's see. First of all, I mean, I don't know, have you ever been in a relationship before?
Yes.
Yeah. And did you get used?
Like every man out there.
Yeah, well, you know, I think that,
you know, stop the filibuster. Again, the question is, name one thing I've ever said on the air that I don't believe. Go right ahead.
Like I told you, Tom, the problem is...
No, stop repeating what you said before and answer the question I'm asking. Name one thing I've said on the air that I don't believe.
Hey, listen...
Answer the question. The question is, name one thing I've said on the air that I don't believe. You're not going to get to say anything other than the answer to that question. And if you don't answer it, then I'm going to hang up.
Hey, you know what?
You made a statement, Buster. Now back it up with facts. Name one thing I said on the air that I don't believe. There you go. Now you're going to curse on the air, you moron, you cretin. We got your home phone number.
Hey, well, good.
Yeah, well, you know what? Calling in and cursing on the air is illegal, pal. You know what? Instead of cursing on the air, why don't you answer the goddamn question, you coward?
Oh,
because you can't, you creep.
Hey, is goddamn a curse or not?
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not, but...
no, it's not. No.
You know what? You're a hypocrite.
Well, again, you just keep repeating the same things over and over. But everybody who's listening knows the fact that you can't answer the question. You keep claiming I'm a hypocrite, and you say on the air that I say things I don't believe, and yet you can't name one thing I've ever said. I have given you almost 4 minutes of airtime, and you can't name one thing I've ever said that I don't believe.
If I'm so...
Well, you did it again! You can't answer the question, you creep. Why don't you just concede that you can't answer the question? You were wrong in the first place, and you can't come up with one example to back up what you said.
You know, you love this time because this is controversial.
Again, you can't answer it, can you? That's enough, pal. And we do have your phone number, you moron. 1-800-5800-TOM. You should only see what happened to other people who called in here and did that, and then we had their phone number. I'd lose sleep over it if I were you. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's David on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Yeah, how's it going, Tom? Yeah, that guy was way off, but, Tom, I did have a one question to a statement that you had made. It was a while back.
Mm-hmm.
You said something about how black males who date white females, those white females have all been sexually abused.
I never said that. And if you have, I'll tell you what, if you have
I might have misquoted you on it.
Oh, you definitely did. Because you know what? I wouldn't say that. I don't believe that. I never believed that. And I certainly, if you have a date or a time or any information that would help us find that quote, we will go to the tape, we will listen, and I will come back on the air and respond.
Oh, okay, because, I mean, I swear you...
that would be outrageous. It would just not, it's just not true.
Oh, okay.
Not just that whether I said it or not, but the statement is just not true.
Oh, okay, I know, but, you know, well, because the funny thing about it is that I went back, and I did my own personal research, and I looked back to the many females that I was talking to, and quite a few of them were sexually abused.
Well, okay, here's the deal. Quite a few females have been sexually abused. I do. Quite a few females have been sexually abused of all colors, and I will say this: no matter what color they are, it's a lot easier to get with a woman who was sexually abused, whether that's good or bad, right or wrong, fair or unfair. It's true.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree on that. Well, Tom, thank you. Take me out of the bong here, brother.
Here you go, David. Andrew on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. How you doing?
Okay.
Great. Yeah, I just want to say thank you for setting that guy Dan in place. That guy had no idea what he was talking about.
Well, clearly proven by the fact that I gave him numerous opportunities to give one single example, and all he could do was curse at me.
Exactly. And I also want to thank you. You know, you're maybe the only person who is completely honest about all the stuff you talk about women, about everything. And I just want to say thank you.
Andrew, thank you. Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Jorge on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm okay.
A good show. Actually, I'm a first-time listener. I don't live in California. I'm just driving to San Diego.
Yes, sir.
I just thought that sometimes, this conversation you were having about people who apologize, and sometimes it's because they're afraid to lose their job or get reprimanded, and even if they don't feel that they're wrong, they just apologize because they're cowardly.
Well, then why would anyone believe anything that person ever says?
That's correct. But sometimes anyone can make a joke, and we think it's funny, and then we realize that we offended someone. And
I don't worry about offending people. I offend people for a living.
Okay, but let's say that we're not in broadcast radio, and
I'm not talking about people who work as an accountant and they make a sexist comment in the office and they might lose their job. I'm talking about people who express opinions for a living. People who are public figures who make comments.
Well, but
everyone loves the benefits of being perceived as outrageous, but nobody wants any of the consequences.
Okay. So you don't think that sometimes, what if you realize you're wrong? I mean, it's also pretty, it takes guts to step down.
Well, put it this way. If I say something that is factually wrong, I do apologize for making a factual error. But I don't express opinions that I don't believe. So you don't apologize for opinions.
No, I agree.
We don't have to agree on everything.
All right.
I'm not worried about whether my opinions offend people. I couldn't care less.
Okay. But sometimes some people
I'll give you an example of something I once said on the air, and you've heard a clip of it play on the air from time to time. A conversation we've had about whether older guys look at 14- and 15-year-old girls in bikinis. And whether they get aroused looking at them. And the answer is, of course we do.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, we do. The fact is, what's illegal is having sex with somebody who's under the age of consent. But a man's equipment does not know the difference between a 14-year-old and an 18-year-old.
I concur.
So lots of people say, you can't believe that. What are you, a child molester? No, I'm not.
No.
I've never had sex with a 14-year-old girl. But any man who says he doesn't get aroused looking at 14-year-olds in bikinis is lying.
Yeah, I think people are a little bit too sensitive. The way I see it is, if you don't mean to, if you're in a conversation, for example, I was in a situation where there was a guy in my class, and they were talking about him, and they said, oh, such and such, and I asked, is that the black guy or the other guy? And because I didn't know which one of them, and because I said black, people looked at me like if I'm a racist. And the way I see it is, unless you hate them or you try to offend someone on purpose or mean something bad by it,
you shouldn't have to apologize. Jorge, thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it.
The Tom Leykis Show.